SCP-1502 is a humanoid construct measuring 38 cm in height. Its body has been crudely assembled from leather, wire, and bone fragments of unknown sources. SCP-1502's head and upper torso are concealed by a burlap sack fastened with metal wire around the object's waist. Unlike the rest of its body, SCP-1502's arms are mechanical and have been constructed from surgical steel. SCP-1502's forearms contain an array of tools, including scalpels and a stitching needle, which can be released on folding appendages and locked into place. The left arm of SCP-1502 also contains a gasping tool, which has been hooked to a line of thread running to a spool on its back. The right arm can produce a hypodermic needle, which has been connected via plastic tubing to a steel reservoir located underneath the spool of thread. The object class is Euclid. SCP-1502 possesses a limited teleportation ability and is capable of relocating itself instantaneously to the interior of the nearest furniture. For example, drawer, chest, cabinet, or similar piece of furniture. Relocation must within a range demonstrated to span at least 100-meter radius and a minimum observed interval between uses of 12 seconds. SCP-1502 uses its property to enter homes and other residential areas during the night, at which point it attempts to locate the nearest human. If it is successful, SCP-1502 uses its syringe to inject the subject with an anesthetic substance of unknown composition that produces numbness, unconsciousness, and paralysis in greater doses. Then, SCP-1502 stands nearby, usually on the subject's chest, and performs extensive cosmetic surgery on the subject. The procedure of this surgery includes measures such as the injection of a concentrated solution containing collagenase and elastase into parts of the face, the severing of certain tendons to cause facial skin to drop, and stitching hair from the subject's head over their upper lip. The inferred objective of this procedure is to change the subject's appearance to resemble actor William Daniels in his role as Mr. George Feeney in the television series Boy Meets World as closely as possible. Non-long-term physical side effects of exposure to this substance include facial numbness and tingling, muscular twitches, central nystagmus, partial vocal cord paralysis, graying of scalp and facial hair, and dry skin. Mental side effects are unknown and currently under experimentation. Humans exposed to SCP-1502's ability have been relocated to a local research site to preserve secrecy, aid in rehabilitation, and conduct long-term observation. They were termed SCP-15021-XX, with each subject assigned a value of XX in sequence. These individuals tend to show depression, loss of identity, chronic fatigue, and little to no desire to return to society. SCP-1502-101 through SCP-1502-108 were recovered from the area where SCP-1502 is known to have operated. SCP-1502-09 through SCP-1502-14 resulted from experimentation with SCP-1502. SCP-1502 is kept in a secure object containment locker. This locker isolated in a cell in the humanoid containment wing of Research Facility 5. An identical locker is to be replaced next to the containment chamber and fitted with a pressure sensor wired to notify staff when it is activated. Instances of SCP-15021 are to be relocated to a dedicated section of Research Facility 5, termed the Daniel Wing. Instances of SCP-15021 will be contained as a collection of humanoid SCP entities in there. These subjects are to be monitored by researchers for physical and psychological changes. Interview transcript 1502A1 recorded the interview that was conducted off-site. Before the object's relocation to its current containment facility, the standard interview chamber in Armed Containment Area 24 was used, and the interview was conducted by researcher Andrews with Security Officer Clark and Assistant Researcher Chan in attendance. SCP-1502 attempted twice to teleport away from handlers before becoming cooperative. In interview 150282, assistant researcher Isaac Chen admitted a perceived relation between SCP-1502 and a 26-year-old female employed as an office worker at Area 24. The woman was reported missing. It is believed that she has been in the company of 3 other women when disappeared. The 3 women have also not been located. However, because of their inconclusive results, investigation into her and her companion's disappearance by both the Foundation and the local police force were closed. After extended questioning and analysis, it was concluded that Assistant Researcher Chen was uninvolved in the disappearance. SCP-1502 is believed to be experiencing progressive degradation of memory. In interview 15025, when tests from earlier interviews were replicated, SCP-1502 reacted with significantly lower frequency and accuracy. It was able to provide much less information regarding the topics it previously discussed. When presented with a photograph of Assistant Researcher Chen and asked SCP-1502 to identify the subject, SCP-1502 responded, "I don't know. Something's wrong. My head still hurts. Something's wrong." SCP-1502's speech pattern has also changed. Its voice now contains less distortion, taking on a clear, tiny quality. SCP-1502 now seems to identify as the character Sean Hunter itself. The reasons of these changes are unknown. Of the 14 SCP-15021 patients who have been recovered and contained, 9 have developed the coping mechanism of identifying as and emulating the character of George Feeney. This decision has no obvious correlation with race, gender, or other factors, including familiarity with the character. Instances 1502-112 and 1502-115 have never watched the series. They prefer their invented vision of the fictional person. 15021 instances who have become Feeney identified will request to be identified as either George or Mr. Feeney. They want to be called which of them is depending on who is addressing them, and will tell other 15021 instances that they are imposters, choosing varied and inconsistent explanations. For example, shape-shifting entities, androids, and agents working together with both SCP-1502 and the Foundation. 5 of these 15021 instances cannot relate memories of their past before containment. These have been isolated due to their emotional reactions to interaction with other SCP-15021s. SCP-1502 does not display any sense of preferences among age, ethnicity, gender, or any other factors beyond proximity in its section of subjects, but is limited by species. In testing, SCP-1502 was released in a room containing several sedated animals, including a chimpanzee, a Yorkshire Terrier, and a monitor lizard, as well as a life-sized rubber human figure dressed and posed to appear similar to a sleeping adult Caucasian male. SCP-1502 ignored the reptile, dog, and mannequin, but approached the chimpanzee and played vocalization which were incomprehensible due to their voice distortion and low volume. SCP-1502 then walked to the mirror and stood facing it until the mirror was removed from the testing area. SCP-1502's exact motivation in doing this are unknown. Interviews have been conclusive. It is because the object communication through the playback of recordings of actor Ryder Strong in his role as the character Sean Hunter from the aforementioned television series. All documented vocalizations made by SCP-1502 have been attributed to existing episodes of Boy Meets World. The source and medium of this recording is unknown, and they often show degradation in the form of static and pitch distortion. What do you think of its behavior? Feel free to comment below.